Real Nerds is a proud partner of the Denver Podcast Network. In the shadow of the mountains,
we speak.
Do you remember where you were when we elected a Sasquatch president?
How about when you learned Ben Franklin was a robot?
Or first heard Stalin's mixtape?
I'm Zach Powers.
I'm Brian Flynn, and we host The Revisionists.
Each episode, one person explains real history and another tells an alternate version.
And the winner becomes the truth. We let comics from Denver and around the country run wild through history.
It's an in-depth look at history, but with more Babadooks.
Check out The Revisionists, available every other Saturday.
Wherever you get podcasts and at revisionistpodcast.com.
Oh, hi, podcast listeners. There's many ways you can listen to the Real Nerds Podcast. You can subscribe on iTunes. You can also subscribe on Stitcher Radio. You want to send us a Twitter message? You can do that. It's so easy, at Real Nerds. Like us on Facebook, Real Nerds Podcast. You can visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com, where there'll be a lot of articles for you to not only read, but to listen to our previous shows. You can also call us, 720-6nerds5. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Brian. No, this is my announcer voice, and you're listening to Real Nerds Podcast. Should I do this as my real self? Oh, shucky darn. Hi, this is Brian Cummings. You're listening to Real Nerds Podcast. Okay, do it straight. Hi, this is Brian Cummings, and actually you are listening to Real Nerds Podcast. Send money. And real estate.
Welcome to another Real Nerds Podcast interview from Denver Pop Culture Con 2019. Hope you enjoy.
Welcome to the Real Nerds Podcast live from Denver Pop Culture Con 2019. I'm Zach. I'm joined by Donovan.
Hello.
Donovan, you are incredibly well put together here right now with your costume. I'm going to describe it for the folks at home a little bit. Spider-Man with a punk bent to it. And he's clearly a fan of other films and franchises because he's got pins patches attached with pins. What inspired you to kind of go for this kind of look for Spider-Man?
Because the first time he was Green Lantern, he realized it was a stupid character, and he decided to go to a real one.
Oh, snap, that hurts.
Ryan Frost entering the mix here.
That's how I roll.
Are you here to
goodness.
judge the cosplay contest?
Well, Donovan, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you were the first person ever to sit on our podcast 8 years ago at Denver Comic-Con.
You were absolutely correct.
Oh, my gosh, I'm in the presence of royalty here.
You are. See, back then, he was a little snot-nosed kid who dressed up as a Green Lantern.
Really? And
now he grew up to be Spider-Man.
Oh, wow. I thought you were about to say, now I grew up to be a snot-nosed adult dressing up as Spider-Man.
No, Spider-Man, you get a pass.
Okay.
Green Lantern, we have problems.
So you're saying 8 years later he learned his lesson?
No, 6 years later. You were here 2 years ago?
Yeah. I came 2016 was the last con I attended, so.
Yeah, and there's an awesome picture of him with a guitar with Kellen.
Right on. Rocket.
So he is a regular of Denver Comic-Con on Real Nerds.
So you've seen it all then?
I've seen a good chunk of it. I wouldn't say all of it because, I mean, you see how busy this is right now. That's a lot of stuff to see there.
Let's be honest. No matter how wide the aisles get, it's still a pain in the ass to walk through.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, shut up.
Yeah.
Did you know what happened to Spider-Punk in the comics?
I read a few comics of the multiverse, and he was included in them. That's really where I got my inspiration, but otherwise I haven't fully read into him.
He's dead now.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. A lot of people are.
No, he was wiped out in Edge of not Spider-Verse. Was it you guys Spider-Geddon?
Okay.
Edge of Spider-Geddon. He had like his own one shot, and he got axed.
That's unhealthy, I hear.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll come back.
I would hope so. The last Spider-Verse piece I read was the one with the family wiping out all the different multiverse Spider-Mans. Yeah, so that's realistically where I got my inspiration, and it sucks to hear that he's dead. Thankfully, I'm not dead yet. So
yeah, you're good to go. So yeah, find Spider-Geddon when he's like on the cover playing guitar. It's a pretty great issue.
All right, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Yeah.
So what have you been enjoying about the con so far this year, Donovan? Like, how does it hold up with other cons from previous years?
So I don't know. Some of the stuff I'm enjoying is definitely the Artist Alley. I thoroughly support back in Fort Collins, an hour north of here where I'm from. I thoroughly support the art scene up there. I love it. And just being able to see all of these different artists come together as a collective in one space, it's just fantastic. And they'll be sketching or doodling while you walk up. They'll have full conversations with you. And for the most part, they don't get upset if you don't buy anything when you walk away. And that's fantastic to me.
Well, they're there to mingle as well as sell stuff. Like, it's not just a one-sided thing with them.
Yeah.
Who's the artist you've enjoyed meeting the most? Outside of ones that you've already supported in the past. Like, anybody new?
Oh, geez, you're putting me on the spot. I can't remember his name. But he basically takes pop culture icons, specifically with video games and anime, and he applies a traditional Japanese art style to it. It's very unique. I saw his pictures a couple years ago on Instagram and Tumblr and all over social media, and I was just in awe of it. And when I saw his booth, I actually got to meet him. It was Mike something. And he was a down-to-earth guy. He actually knew about the video games. Like, I made a comment on, I bought a Metal Gear Solid piece from him, actually, from my buddy Gabe. And he was talking with me about the different game franchise within Metal Gear Solid and how that applies to Smash. And you don't see that with a lot of artists. They'll take, like, oh, that's Snake. I'm going to incorporate him in here. No, he actually knew about Snake and knew the background, and I really enjoyed the conversation with him.
Right on. So obviously he's got the knowledge behind to back himself up.
Yeah.
So what has changed about the con since you've started coming that surprises you the most out of anything? Because obviously we've had a name change come through the door last year.
Yeah.
But there's also other aspects that I'm sure have kind of been altered that may have changed over the years.
I'd have to go back to the part about the name change. That is the biggest one for me. I got these tickets actually from my now ex-girlfriend as a birthday gift in November, and
you showed her.
Oh my God, this guy.
Jokes on her, I still went.
I got the tickets, and it said Denver Pop Culture Con, and I was like, what the hell is Denver Pop Culture Con?
Then you do the research.
I did the research, and it was the same thing, but, from everything I've seen so far, it's one of two conventions that have actually changed their name from Comic-Con to be, for lack of better terminology, more inclusive towards the other pop culture references that are here, which I get it, but at the same time, Comic-Con is like a staple, I feel like, and actually having that name, everybody I've talked to here still calls it Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Nobody calls it Pop Culture Con.
Yeah.
And I get the progress in moving forward, but it kind of, I don't know, it takes away from it. I was talking with a couple folks in line, and the reason that they brought up why it's not as busy as back in 2016 when I came is because it's not Comic-Con, so people, when they look for Comic-Con, they're not seeing that it comes up. They'll see Denver Pop Culture Con, and maybe they get turned off because they think it's something different.
Yeah. Well, and there's unfortunately the whole issue of some other cons claiming that only they can call themselves Comic-Con and stuff.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah. Though there was a lawsuit with Salt Lake City Con versus San Diego Comic-Con, which San Diego won, so it was kind of assumed that everybody was going to have to start changing names, but I don't know if they were planning on the name change prior to that.
I don't know. I think it was a preemptive strike because they didn't want to get sued by San Diego.
Right. But outside of that, though, pretty much the same. Nothing's generally changed too much.
It's the same atmosphere. It's the same grouping of people showing up. It's still a fun and all-inclusive atmosphere. Whether it was Comic-Con, whether it's Pop Culture Con, whether it's BronyCon, you're still going to, which let's hope and pray it doesn't become that.
Oh, right. You want to go to BronyCon?
Can we make fun of it?
Yes. I'm content with that.
I was at the comic store a couple months ago, and some dude, I'm not saying like a kid, it was a young boy, and he wants My Little Pony, whatever, but some dude had My Little Pony, stack of it, and he loved it. And that's weird.
I had a friend who was a brony in film school.
Why do people like My Little Pony?
It's specifically for that show, My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic, and apparently the writing on the show is incredibly clever. I have not watched any of it. I've just heard them say firsthand, "Hey, this writing's really good." I'm like, "Cool." I don't like My Little Pony.
He's saying that like he knows it's good. He's like, The writing in there's really good. I've never watched it though. I mean, I've never seen it. Sunshine Sparkles is. I don't know what that pony is.
What's a Sunshine Sparkle? Exactly.
I made up a name for a My Little Pony.
You were trying to test me, and I failed the test.
Yeah.
It works, I guess. I saw this dude. He had to be like 50-something, upper 50s. Bigger gentleman. He was wearing a pink pony shirt, and then he had a bright green sparkly backpack on. And, I guess more power to him.
Yeah, I
but
guess if that's what you like, that's what you like.
Yeah, whatever works for you. I mean,
there's one of those ones I just don't understand it. It's not because I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I'm just like, I just don't know what the appeal of little cartoon ponies.
I guess you'd have to see what they're talking about in it. I mean, I think Tara Strong's on it, or Emily Blunt. Was Emily Blunt in one of them?
She's in the movie.
She's in the movie. So there you go.
I haven't seen it.
So clearly, it's able to attract some names. So
I don't think it's able to attract names. I think it's give me money and I'll do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it falls under the same lines as comic books, for example. I mean, we're grown men. We still read comic books of fictional characters swinging from building to building.
Yeah, so...
But, it's a muscular dude in a unitard rather than a pony.
I think in the grand scheme of things, we're all
Spider-Man
silly.
is the greatest literary character ever made.
I don't know about that, but yeah.
Okay, name a better one.
Huckleberry Finn.
I'm sorry?
Huckleberry Finn?
Nope. Nope.
I'm a racist.
Huckleberry Finn is not better than Spider-Man.
I mean, he can't swing from building to building, but he can articulate his words a lot better than...
Yeah, racist words to poor Jim on the riverboat. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
You're not going to win this argument with me.
Sherlock Holmes.
Nope.
What?
No.
The greatest detective in the world.
It's not. He doesn't have a moral code like Spider-Man.
No, but he... That's true. He also does heroin. But...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he also has more successful movies than Spider-Man. I mean...
False. That is a false
I mean, if we're talking about, Tom Holland, yeah, I'm content. Andrew Garfield, yeah, I'm content.
So are you talking
Tobey
about
Maguire?
Robert Downey Jr. or are you talking about Sherlock Holmes?
I'm talking about Sherlock Holmes as a character. Has more, successful movies.
No. He has only 2.
He has 2,
No,
but that's
he's
better
had
than
plenty
Tobey
throughout
Maguire's
history.
anything.
No.
Let's be honest.
No.
He's had plenty throughout history.
Basil
Rathbone.
Yeah, so, I mean, the first Spider-Man made $836 million, so...
Yeah, but it's still garbage.
Are we
so
gonna
I
have
mean,
First Spider-Man is... We're going to fight.
Am I gonna, no, we're not going to fight, but am I going to do the inflation calendar? Try to figure it out. I'm just curious now what they've all made as a whole. Oh, that's
These
true.
kids these days tell me the first Spider-Man movie's garbage.
You know
I
what
mean,
though? Those individual Spider movies have made more than any Sherlock Holmes movie would in its initial run.
That, and they're amazing.
Yeah, that is true. They are amazing.
Tobey Maguire just doesn't do it for me, though. I'm sorry. The movies are just like...
Okay, but then at least admit that Willem Dafoe is an amazing, badass villain.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Okay, then
yeah.
we're finding some common ground here.
Go Webb!
Go Webb.
Oh, my God.
Tobey Maguire is amazing.
So what are you looking forward to for the last day of the con? Like, we're on day 2 right now.
It's gonna sound odd, but since I got the tickets for my birthday a couple months ago, I didn't know anybody else who was going to this convention, actually. I know one person who was here yesterday, and she was here for like an hour.
Really?
I really enjoy meeting people and getting to talk with them. And, like, with this cosplay, it makes it extremely easy just to walk up to anybody and say, hey, I'm Spider-Man, what's up? And I really enjoy that aspect. It falls under the, Comic-Con conversation earlier. It's a community of people as a whole with similar interests.
Yeah, a place to gather and share your interests, yeah.
Exactly. And, I saw this other guy who's dressed, not as well as I am, but he had a punk Spider-Man getup as well.
Yeah.
And we had like a 30-minute conversation just on comic books as a whole and like what he did for his cosplay, what I did. I had a guitar with me that, today I have the backpack to actually buy stuff, but I had a guitar with me and it had Marvel Heroes on it and he admired it and asked to buy it. And, it's just actually having that sense of community, that sense of friendship without even knowing somebody is fantastic to me. So I'm excited for tomorrow to see that as well.
Right on. Well,
are you Spider-Punk tomorrow, too?
Yeah,
Nice.
I was my new job, I'm working 75 hours a week.
Wow.
So I don't have much time at home, so I just grabbed this out of the closet.
No, it's awesome. It's unique enough that, people know it's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then real comic people know that he's actually in comics, so... It's awesome.
So that's a twofer right there.
Yep.
Uniqueness and...
Do you still fit in your Green Lantern costume?
Oh, my God. I couldn't even tell you. You got to remember, I was like a solid foot and a half shorter back then.
No, when you came in that a couple years ago, I was shocked because you used to be just like this little guy, and then you grew up, and we're so proud of you.
Oh, Dad. So, you keep trashing on Green Lantern. I have to bring it up. I can't show you now because the unitard goes to my feet, but I have a Green Lantern tattoo on my calf with the starts of all the other lantern rings. Just because if we talk any day of the week, if Hal Jordan and Peter Parker were to go at it, we obviously know who would win.
Peter Parker.
Oh, you're hilarious.
All he'd have to do is web his fucking lantern, throw it away, and be like, what are you going to do now?
All Green Lantern would have to do is put a bubble around Peter Parker and take out the oxygen.
Yeah, but he has to charge his fucking ring first.
Yeah,
and
he
say
can
a
charge
poem.
that sucker overnight. You charge your phone overnight.
Yeah, in darkest day or blackest night. Whip. Punch. Done.
All you got to do is turn your
Comic
back to
written
Peter
in
Parker.
2.
You win. Done.
Comic written in 2 pages.
Plus, you don't even have to charge it every time you go to use it. That would take away the whole purpose of them being space cops.
So, yeah, my big problem with DC heroes, always a caveat to their heroism.
Okay, look at it this way. Actual cops don't need to, fully load each individual bullet into their gun before they go to use it. No, they just have it ready to go. They
do.
loaded it prior to the fight.
Al Jordan would be like, oh, my ring! Thwip, gone.
I like Iron Man.
Oh, so you obviously have bad taste.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to think, though, because, Green Lantern has powers of a space cop. Spider-Man's got powers of a spider. I really like Batman. I don't think he's going to take any of them out, so...
No.
Yeah, no, he's just a billionaire. He'll probably bat a ring away, so...
I mean, we could talk about that Justice League animated film from a couple of years ago where they're in the sewers, and he's like, well, what does this do? Hal Jordan, oh, shit, where'd it go? Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, thank you, Donovan, for sitting down and chatting with us.
Yeah, of course.
I appreciate it. This has been Donovan speaking to us 8 years later.
8 years later.
Yeah,
Good seeing you, buddy.
The evolution has come full force. I'm Zach, and Ryan joined in on this conversation.
I did. I had to put Green Lantern in his place.
You're still not going to win that one.
Get out of here, John Stewart, Green Lantern.
Okay, John Stewart is still better than the rest of them.
Get out of here, whatever other stupid Green Lanterns there are.
Ooh, ouch, real burn. Ow.
Yep.
Oh, no, that hit right to home. What am I going to do?
Yeah, are you Sinestro? Gosh.
Take it easy, everybody. We'll see you with the next interview.
This has been another Real Nerds Podcast interview from Denver Pop Culture Con 2019. See you next year.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Real Nerds Podcast. Real Nerds Podcast is a production of Nebulous Visions Multimedia. Thank you to Sparks Mandrill and Plan 9 Studios for our kick-ass theme song. Also, if you're in the Denver area and you're looking for a cool place to see movies, we see them at the Alamo Draft House in Littleton and now also in Sloan's Lake. Thank you to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics for supplying us with all our comic needs, especially you, Andrew. You know who you are. And a big shout out to James's mom. I'm giving you an electronic hug that you can feel through the airwaves. Thanks for listening, and have a nice day.